in the world, this is per capita consumption, the per capita account does not necessarily reflect the real picture because of inequality, high level of inequality. Only 48.5% of total population have access to electricity, regular power failure, and demand side is very much unregulated. What Dr. Aslam was saying, while industry, hospital, agriculture suffering from load shedding, luxurious consumption including ACOs experienced highest growth for shopping mall and very high-rise buildings, etc. And supply side dominated by corporate interests becoming unstable and costly. Increasing international oil companies and independent power producer share is increasing, rental power plant, quick rental, etc. And lack of vision, no comprehensive energy policy and compartmental initiative. National capability potential is suffering from hostile policies. Why? Why national capability is suffering? Because we have changed many things since early 80s. We have power generation capacity now 6,688 megawatt, real generation is 4,699. Government share is now 60%. Primary fuel to generate mostly gas, then diesel, furnace oil, coal, water. And renewable energy is not that significant, very slowly increasing. This is a reserve of natural gas. Here I would like to focus on how Bangladesh entered into resource curse group. In 1974, the government took a very important decision to establish Petrobangla. That was a very far-sighted decision, and that establishment had a very good impact on following years. In 1975, gas fields were bought from Shell, and till 1995, 100% of gas was producing by Petrobangla. Because of that, a skilled workforce also grew. In 1982-83, that was the beginning of different direction. World Bank came up with development scheme to bring international oil companies in the sector, and energy sector reform began. Since 1993, signing of production sharing contracts were begun. In 2004, coal contract, all secret, not even discussed in parliament or parliamentary committees. Since 1996, private sector power generation policy, international financial institutions like World Bank, Asian Development Bank stopped funding for state power plant. It was a deliberate decision. Stopped funding for state power plant just to push Bangladesh to become dependent on foreign power companies. These are blocks. Bangladesh divided into blocks for production sharing contracts with international oil companies. And these are the PSCs. In 1993, 6 production sharing contracts, Can Energy, Holland, and later Halliburton, Santos, Shell, Can, and Unocal, Chevron, Oakland, Tullow. These are all this. 1993-94 is the first round bidding, and 1997 second round bidding. What is that? These are all what went well with World Bank's policies and the corporate interests, etc. But what happened to Bangladesh? By leasing out most resource-rich gas blocks to international oil companies, Bangladesh becomes hostage to these companies. Cost of production, that is very important, because cost of production will be lowered. Is according to World Bank, it will go down. But cost of production of gas and electricity increased by 10 to 30 times because of these international contracts. Fiscal deficit increases every year. Instead of saving public money, drainage and corruption increased manifold. In the last 10 years, international oil companies received 160 billion taka by selling gas to Bangladesh. It is a gas of Bangladesh. Multinational companies are selling our gas to us, which could be purchased by 20 billion taka from national agency in local currency. So net 140 billion taka were just siphoned off from this economy. This is a result, direct result of FDI in energy sector. And because national agencies were made marginalized to give space to multinational corporations or foreign state agencies, erosion of national capability. This is some number. I would like to give some numbers which can speak on itself. Construction of need to rationalize grabbing. Two arguments are always put behind this foreign direct investment. One is for these countries like Bangladesh, all peripheral countries. Number one, we have capital scarcity, and two, lack of technical ability. But what happened? Every year, at least one 500 megawatt power plant could be built by the money spent as subsidy for buying gas from multinational corporations. That is about 2.5 billion taka every year. So every year we could build 500 megawatt power plant. It is increasing as their share is growing. BD spends more money now with multinational corporations, not less, as World Bank claimed. Second, BAPEX Petrobangla spends taka 1 billion to drill a well. One well, BAPEX needs 1 billion taka. While multinational corporations usually do it by costing 6 to 15 times. UNOCAL spent taka 15.31 billion to drill a well. What is wasteful? Multinational corporations made big blowout in Maguchara and Tangatila, not national agency. Who is more efficient? While multinational corporations selling gas at $3 to $4 per thousand CFT, BAPEX could give it at 10% of this price. Who is more capable? And now, confessions from World Bank and Asian Development Bank, they realized and made confession that although for Bangladesh, these are from their study report. World Bank, Asian Development is saying, although the individual companies responsible for ADB financed gas sector projects are profitable, Petrobangla is incurring losses due to the increasing share of more expensive gas from IOCs. That is their confession. And from World Bank, Petrobangla buys gas from IOCs at a price linked to the international price of oil. Petrobangla will incur increasing deficits leading to a negative cash flow. So that is there. But what is the solution from World Bank and ADB? Their solutions. Number one, raise gas price. That is number one solution. And number two solution, export your gas to any other country. And people rejected this. Government of Bangladesh has been periodically increasing in different governments, increase in gas price and price of electricity. That is causing rising cost of production and cost of living, and obvious outcome. Independent experts and people in general oppose export move taken jointly by GOP, multinational corporations, IFAC, embassies. Otherwise, present gas and power prices could have been doubly worse. There is another story, $5 billion due from US and Canadian company. Bangladesh lost 500 billion cubic feet gas for blowout in Maguchara in 1997 and Tengratila in 2005. This amount of gas equals to gas used for power generation in 20 months for whole Bangladesh. These are lost. This is lost. And compensation due from US company Chevron and Canadian company NICO, the price of gas last only is more than $5 billion, which is $5 billion, which is 7 times of yearly budget allocation for energy sector. Still today compensation is unpaid. World Bank, Asian Development Bank or other IFIs used to be very vocal about everything in the country. But they are collectively remained silent, deeply silent, about this compensation issue. They have never uttered any word about this compensation. This is a findings from a study on present South Asia. South Asia is emerging as an important region both economically and politically. President Obama shifted focus from Iraq to South Asia as soon as he took office in 2008. The strategic alliances in South Asia with India, China, Pakistan, and the US being the key players are largely to secure control of fossil fuels, minerals, and other natural resources, and the infrastructure such as oil and gas pipelines and ports to import and export them. It is a matter of concern because is Bangladesh becoming a victim of new global strategy? This is coming in mind when we see more and more things are coming out from WikiLeaks. And WikiLeaks also exposed some activities from US Embassy on natural resources in Bangladesh. With the WikiLeaks saying, US diplomats privately pressurized the Bangladeshi government into reinstating the controversial coal mine which had been closed following violent protest. Later on in the cable, Moriarty, the US ambassador, former US ambassador, privately noted Asia Energy, the company behind the Fulbari project, has 60% US investment. Asia Energy officials told the ambassador they were cautiously optimistic that the project would win government approval in the coming months. Energy advisor agreed to build support for the project through the parliamentary process. That is happening now. The US ambassador to Bangladesh persuaded the government in July last year to award 2 blocks in the Bay of Bengal to ConocoPhillips and to permit Chevron to set up a compressor in Muchai, a CNN-IBN report said on Friday. So who decides on people, lives and resources? Who decides? Who is commanding on this? This last one that is already done. Contract was signed on 16 June this year. This is the latest contract, oil gas blocks, and the beginning of Bay of Bengal. Main concern is 100% export opportunity is there. Bangladesh share not more than 20%. Production limit is relaxed more than 7.5%. So 10 years is enough for them to pull out all gases. Joint Review Committee and Management Committee are dominated by a multinational company. This ConocoPhillips, who has been awarded these 2 blocks, has a bad records for blowout and compensation conditions are not concrete, and our experience is not good for getting compensation. Authority over Bay of Bengal is crucial for Bangladesh, that is being threatened. This is now the coal. We have 5 main coal fields. One, in Boropukuria production is ongoing. Jamalganj, the highest reserve, too deep to be technically feasible. Kalashpi, yet to be implemented. Digibara, it is not yet begun any work. And Fulbari, there was an attempt of open pit mine that was rejected by the people. Still, there is a struggle. This is a Fulbari coal project. It began in 1994. In 1997, this is very important to look at. In 1997, suddenly one company was formed named Asia Energy. One company was suddenly formed in 1997, and this BHP transferred very rich coal mine to a company who does not have any experience on coal mining. We always listen from abroad and at home that we don't have any expertise, we don't have any capability, so we have to go for foreign company. But this foreign company was formed in 1997, and 1998 they got the license of Fulbari coal mining. So there is some mystery which is yet to be looked at. Its major shareholders have been Polo Resources, USA, etc. There is a very hedge fund activities is there. For Bangladesh, it is very important to look at the area, mining area, 3 crop area, highly fertile area, free from this area. This is the northern part. This northern part is mostly free from flood and natural disaster. 656 square kilometer area of this region will be affected by open pit mining. Destruction of rivers. We have gas is resource, coal is resource, but water is also resource. And this open pit mine was going to destroy all these water systems. Rivers, canals, water bodies, fish farms, ducks, hens, etc. So there is opposition because of this eviction of people, dewatering in the mining area, and this the food security crisis, the threat to the food security, and threat to the human security. There is the main reasons to oppose open pit mining. These are all people's mobilization against resource curse, and people's have very glorious collective efforts in Bangladesh. That's why the direction towards making Nigeria, another Nigeria, could not succeed. Resistance against gas export by depriving people and the economy could not do it because of this resistance. Fulbari uprising that made the 3 young men gave their lives, but this resistance stopped open pit mining still today. And it has also a option of export of coal. And People's Tribunal against World Bank, IMF, ADB has identified problems of these French philosophers' guide, and protests continuing against gas deal with ConocoPhillips with export provisions since 2008. Is a Fulbari agreement. That agreement was signed by former government with the hesitating people. This agreement is an outcome of the people's uprising in 2006. There is a promise that no open pit mining will be allowed anywhere in the country. Fulbari coal project will be scrapped, and Asia Energy, that company, will be ousted from the country. And number 3, very important, mining method and other steps for coal development and utilization will be taken after proper consultation with the people keeping national interest intact. And the present Prime Minister visited the place, and she extended support to the movement and expressed her solidarity with this Fulbari agreement. But even then, till today, the lobbyists of open pit mining are very active in